Let's take a deeper dive into the midterms. Let's bring in Mychael Schnell, House reporter with our partners at The Hill. Mychael, thanks for joining us here. So we heard about polling there from Brooke when it comes to Warnock and Walker. Let's head to Pennsylvania. Oz ahead of Fetterman there. Can Barack Obama turn things around for Democrats with, at this point, essentially a week and a half till the election?
Nichole, it's entirely possible that Barack Obama can sort of move the needle in these states, but I think it depends on who those remaining undecided voters are, right? If there are some liberal-leaning independents still on the line, maybe some Democrats who just weren't convinced by the candidate their party put on the ticket, it's very possible that President Obama, who I will say is the most popular figure in the Democratic Party, according to a YouGov poll, it's possible that an appearance from Obama, an ad from Obama, can sort of push them over the edge and put their click their ticket for the Democrat. But if those undecided remaining voters are Republican-leaning voters, it's not likely that an appearance from Obama or an ad from Obama will really push them over the edge or make a difference.
Well, Mychael, of course, everybody talking about yesterday's hot mic moment between the current president and Chuck Schumer. What does it mean that senior Democratic leaders appear to be skeptical about that Georgia race, but they are remaining positive about races like the one in Pennsylvania and the one in Nevada?
It's really something when we hear a politician who doesn't think that they're being listened to, right? I think that this is an example of some Democrats really being surprised that Herschel Walker has made it this far. That candidate has been hit by scandal after scandal involving domestic abuse charges, allegations from his ex-wife, to most recently claims that he paid for abortions for ex-girlfriends. Things that we call October surprises that would usually take down a candidate. They just have not affected polling when it comes to Herschel Walker. So I think some Democrats are sort of shocked at that, and that's why they're a bit more concerned. I'll also note that though that race has stayed neck and neck, Walker and Warnock have remained very tight in the polls throughout the entire campaign season, while other states like Pennsylvania, like Nevada, we've seen them sort of tighten in recent weeks. This one has been neck and neck the entire time.
All right, so Mychael, we're focusing on individual states there, but let's pull out here. Multiple states at this point are on track to shatter those early voting records. Why do you think that is?
I think that there's just a lot of enthusiasm this cycle, right? If we look at polling, first off, we've seen that time and time again, the economy and inflation have polled as the issues that voters are most concerned about this cycle. And that makes sense, right? Because rising costs, inflation is at decade high, and is at four-decade high. So it makes sense that voters would be enthused and be motivated to go to the polls, cast a ballot to hopefully change the current state of the country. Let's also remember back over the summer, the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, which really galvanized a lot of Democrats, motivated a lot of Democrats. And if we remember back in the summer, everyone was saying, we can be upset now, we can be frustrated now, but what really matters is what happens in November. We need to put a couple more Democrats in the Senate to codify Roe v. Wade. We're now seeing the effects of that excitement and that motivation because we're actually seeing the voters go to the polls.
Absolutely. Yeah, millions of people already so motivated. Okay, Mychael, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.